here would be your shaft of your compressor. And as you can see, you have two magnets, one magnet and two magnets. And the compressor then just rotates on a floating bearing. It never actually has any friction. It just floats there because the shaft is magnetic and it levitates the shaft and then keeps the shaft floating on a seal of air all the time. So there's no wear and tear or maintenance to the chiller. This chiller should run forever and ever and ever because we don't have any mechanical friction which causes wear and tear on parts. Perfect. Yes.
Is there any possibility that the magnet will lose a permanent magnet?
So, a permanent magnet you can lose a permanent magnet if you overheat a compressor. So the way you overheat a compressor is you starve it from motor cooling. The way you starve a compressor from motor cooling is by not running it within the design conditions of the chiller. So if you ever took the chiller and ran it in a condition where, say, your condenser water temperature was 65 degrees and your chilled water was 85 degrees, right? That's an outside of design condition for a chiller. It should never run like that, and you wouldn't have enough lift to keep motor cooling to the compressor, which could cause your shaft to delevitate. I meant to demagnetize. But it would have to be, it's not going to happen on your first time. It would be like, a year of it running in that condition for it to do that. So you have to have extreme conditions to cause that.
In relation to permanent magnet, is there any, we call it permanent,
Yep.
is there a number of years that we need to replace that magnet or?
No number of years. There's no number of years. It's a permanent magnet. So unless you run it outside of those design conditions, you should never have to replace this compressor. This compressor is a lifetime compressor. You do have electronic components that have chance of failure, but you never know what the failure rate is. That's like saying that chiller sitting right next to it can have an electrical failure as well. If your building gets hit with electricity and the electricity blows up your starter, chances are something bad would happen. But other than that, no, there's no physical reason why the compressor would ever fail.
Which part of the chillers really need to, that need a regular maintenance or we have always take standard maintenance?
It's a good question. So inside this manual that you guys have, there's actually standard maintenance procedures.
I'll borrow just
Yeah,
to show it to them.
Okay, so inside your maintenance manual, inside your OEM manual, there's a spot that actually says what all your maintenance guidelines is. I can't find it right now, but if you read through it, it tells you all the things that need to be checked. Quarterly, annually, yearly. It's mainly related to chillers. So tube punching, tower cleaning, pumps. You have to make sure that all your electrical connections are tight, right? Because over time, how reliable is electrical connections? There's screws, right? So you do have to make sure you go through and tighten the screws every once in a while. You also have to make sure that if you ever wanted to do a shutdown where you're going to clean your condensers, you can always run through and check the operation of the inlet guide vanes to make sure that they're all opening and closing. Yes. Perfect. So on page 89 And 90, there's all the maintenance guidelines that you can go through and check. These are all the things you should keep up with.